When you're a lesbian out of LA, in love with a girl out of Brooklyn, Connecticut's your Vegas. And there's no Elvis here. No altars set up just across the border for those escaping neighboring states with their hearts in their glove boxes. Just a courthouse in a small town, in a state with some paper that says any two adult humans in love have earned its protection and should have the law on their side, at least in this. So you call your best friend in Chicago. Say there's a ticket at the airport with your name on it. Get your girl out of bed. Say shake the sugar from your eyes. We're getting married next Saturday. We're headed to Connecticut in an economy car with 4 good wheels. We'll leave the motorcycle behind so they don't stop us at the border for throwing off our helmets and trying to eat the sun. We deserve as much crazy as the couple at the truck stop screaming over the baby and driving away. I hope their wedding day had bells, had a song no one had ever heard Cousin Marcy sing so well that it made them cry. That days like these, when the road's just rock-pounded flat and the baby's been hollering for miles, that song comes on the radio. And it isn't Marcy singing. She's back in Hartford with the kids. You know they got the flu again. And the song has this one part that says, wise men say only fools rush in. It's Elvis, and Elvis always makes her smile. Even the baby's gotten quiet, and maybe they don't know, or can't be bothered to care that their state, small as it is, so small the name doesn't fit on the map, but floats out in the Atlantic like a geographic afterthought. Their state got it right on this. Got it so human that lesbians are crossing the border, looking for a town with a name like Suffolk, or Weetog, or East Berlin, because it sounds like a club. And they've got to be back in Brooklyn by nightfall, and they don't need Elvis, or a preacher, or even this piece of paper, but they're going for it all the same. Because sometimes love grabs you that crazy hard, gets you to hold her in arms you did not know you had. Sometimes you wake up in the morning and you never want to leave. You say, take my hand, take my whole life too, for I can't help falling in love with you. I can't help falling in love with you. For all my death girls. You should have seen them. They were beautiful in their despair, all edgeless like a cloud, all on the cusp of becoming nothing but light. There's a trick to disintegrating in increments subtle enough not to trip the alarm wires, and my girls had it down, how to go and go, until the night is too fragile or grimy, and then the fanfare, the wild dive from the spire, the water tower, the clock yanking its hands back, all my pretty ones in love with the beast of disappearing, their calla lily fists releasing everywhere that unwashable scent. And how they needed me. My simple body became bread in their mouths. I was whiskey, an obliteration who'd get up in the morning to make coffee and call the hospital. 1999. We lay on the futon in my parents' basement, searching the phone book for institutions that would take her without insurance. The phone's sober electronics between us, we curled our bodies into still commas of want to wait for morning. They took her shoelaces and her cigarettes, and I watched. They gave her forms and more forms, and I watched. They walked her to the room with its single bed and single dresser and unsmashable mirror, and I rode the long, high buzz of the door back to New York. There are many ways to give birth. Not one is without pain. There are almost as many ways to die as there are to love. Tonight, I drink to the ones who chose to keep going, who move through my body like a chemical I could not keep. The night stands outside like a hungry dog on an old chain, the scent of lilies rising from the half moons of his teeth. My girls tuck their babies into bed and lovers' hair behind their soft ears. There is nothing to fear. The dog rests his long head on his paws. The phone does not ring. We're all saved. There used to be this lesbian dance club in Brooklyn called Caddyshack. And Caddyshack, somebody knows it. And it is no more, but when it was, it was. And this is a poem called The Fool Does Caddyshack. The lines we draw could be crayon, could be coke, could be boxes around lost causes. When does the celebration of flesh become fetish? The feast come carnage? The hottest lesbian in Brooklyn is drunk again. For her, the lines are sun-drawn, flesh-etched. The club explodes with applause. She is drum and bass refrain high in the chest, wet and writhing. She wears her title like a lantern well out into the night, out onto the feral street that does not care to know her name. Deep house music. What moves you, moves you. You stay until the lyrics bleed through, until the body is a crude object, your mouth on the DJ, hips indebted to the crush, and the crew cuts, and the low-cut jeans, and the tank tops that say, fuck you, she's with me. You don't watch where you put your hands. You don't wait for a moment to flower. You are grinding at the edge of the world. She kisses you, and you've never been this new. The beat drops, and you can move, can call on God, and Yamaya, and Buddha, and the full heart going boom, going hip to thigh with the night, until night arches back with a cry, with an eye from the spine, and rocks like no one's taken no one home before. We fling bodies against the night, until it breaks into math, into chorus, make a treehouse of our feet, and a constitution of tongues, make shame an outlaw, us, the fool. I've researched the moon. I give the sun nothing to go on about. Take my chin across her clavicle like a cat, like a child who only wants her way and knows the rub, bone against skin, against bone, hair tugged hard enough for sting, the divine undivided breath of chest against chest. We know home is a spot well below the belly, and it's sure not the knees. We're all verb here, all move and move again, dip and roll back, tug close and open, cut me, another line on the perfect glacier of your lip, melt me a little piece for this fresh glutton I've become. Thank you all so much for being here.